Hey everybody, this is Dylan from 8 Worlds. If you keep up with the videos on this channel, you might remember me from the Games of Questionable Quality program that we do. I also do a number of other things around YouTube. I do the music for the YouTube series The Adventures of Thunderbird Starkiller. You can also hear my music on the series entitled The Door, both of which you can find at these respective links provided. I also play and sing and write in a band called Live Broadcast. The link is provided here to that channel as well. Feel free to check all of that out and subscribe. In the meantime, I am going to do a segment that I've been quite interested in doing for quite some weeks now. This is going to be my personal top 10 most underrated video game scores of all time list. And it will probably be quite different from yours. I'll probably leave out a bunch of games that you would have put in there, and I'll probably mention a few games that you might never have heard of. So, that all being said, let's get started. Coming in at number 10 is Star Force for the NES. Originally released in 1984 as an arcade game with the alternate name Megaforce in the US, Star Force was ported to the NES in 1987. Unfortunately, I couldn't find out who composed the original score for the arcade game, but I did stumble across the man who arranged the score for the NES. The two arrangements are different enough that it's worth talking about. I apologize if I murder these Japanese names, but here we go. Keiji Yamagishi is the man behind the NES arrangement of Star Force's awesome score. One will find that the NES version of the music is significantly slower and in a lower key than the arcade version. Also, unlike the arcade version, Keiji's version of the main level theme features a modulation to a different key after the introductory fanfare. Yoshihito Kakihara, the founder of Tecmo, hired Keiji pretty much spontaneously because he heard he was a composer. He didn't even bother listening to any samples of his previous work. You have to understand, the industry was much different back then. Even more surprisingly, this was Keiji's first real gig. Now that's what I call a lucky break. The reason I love the music for Star Force is that it plays like a classic movie theme. It sounds like a little 8-bit fanfare sending you off into the dangers of deep space. To me, it stands out because it shows how ambitious game developers were even at such an early stage of video games' very existence. Already their sound designers were having a whack at creating movie-like themes regardless of their limited resources. While we're on the topic of cinematic scores in earlier generations of games, let's talk about Wing Commander. Coming in at number 9 on the chart, this is another prime example of legitimately amazing composers applying their mad chops to video games and treating them just as they would TV or film. This to me is a wonderful display of a soundtrack that takes itself seriously and completely ignores the limitations of crappy sounding chipsets. I mean, this is music that says, think a game can't make you cry? Let's see how you feel after all your friends are dead. Games like this require the cinematic emotions to be firing on all cylinders. As far as I'm concerned, Wing Commander's music more than gets the job done. Wing Commander is an incredible game that helped pave the way for the future cinematic games like Halo, Mass Effect, Uncharted, etc. And it wouldn't have been so awesome without a powerful score to accompany the dynamic storyline. Now here's one that might be less obvious. There ain't nothing cinematic about Mario Paint for the Super Nintendo, yet it still manages to sit at number 8 on my underrated score meter. The music for this game was written by Kazumi Totaka, Hirokazu Tanaka, and Ryoji Yoshitani. Sound familiar? No, it does not. But picture the music from the Mii Creator menu on your Wii console, then imagine how it would sound if it were written 20 years ago and also played by synthesizers from that time period, because that's pretty much what it is. Same guys, same vibes. So why do I like this music so much? I'll be honest, it's mostly nostalgia. Some of the earliest video game memories I have are from this game. Its music is permanently embedded in the deepest, darkest chambers of my brain. I mean, I can't even watch Bob Ross paint his happy clouds without hearing Within the game, you can pick from 3 different songs to serve as your background music. The Me Creator menu, Monkeys Dancing, and Sleepy Fish. While the first 2 options provide cool, poppy salsa grooves to your gaming experience, Sleepy Fish provides you with soundscapes that'll has you tripping like a sloth wearing the wrong shoe size. As silly as this sounds, the songs from Mario Paint and the vibes they get across, especially Sleepy Fish, have majorly inspired me in my own music writing endeavors. I could credit my inclination to write cool, drawn-out soundscapes to Pink Floyd or all the various movie soundtracks I listened to growing up, but the real credit goes to Mario Paint. While we're on the topic of major nostalgia, let's talk about number 7. BanjoKazooie is one of the first games I can remember getting after my dad bought our Nintendo 64. Those of you who have played this game know that it's your basic 90s 3D platformer filled with puzzles, action, and crazy character antics. The defining characteristic of this game, however, is the fact that it's made by Rare, which means that it's freaking hilarious. Regarding its music, I'm not necessarily putting it on this list because I think it's a work of musical genius, but rather because I can't think of another game whose music fits so perfectly with what you're seeing on screen. I know you could say this for a lot of games, but Banjo and its music are absolutely inseparable. You hear the music, you immediately think of Banjo. You play Banjo with the volume down, you can pretty much still hear the music because it's so perfect. It sounds like the game looks. And I guess in that way, it is a work of musical genius. Also, interesting fact, the composer for this game, Grant Kirkhope, also did the music for Perfect Dark. 6 is the number after 7 in a countdown working backwards from 10, so let's do that before we get too excited and skip straight to the number 5. Dan the Man Hess is responsible for the awesome soundtrack from Pilotwings 64. This is another game that gives me crazy childhood flashbacks whenever I play it, and I would say that the music is ballpark roughly 53 to 98% responsible for causing those vivid memories to come back to the surface. Honestly, I don't have much to say about this soundtrack other than, just listen. Right? Total vibe music. Next time you're bored on a cloudy day, put these grooves on and you'll be soaring on cloud 9, man. You know, everyone just go. Just play Pilotwings, man.